Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the class of Hadith. Today, inshallah, we'll take the book of patience. We'll choose some Hadith of this book. As I said before, we cannot take every single chapter and every single Hadith. That will take years. The first Hadith is a Hadith about an amazing woman. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said to whom? To the man. You need to know who is this man. Shall I show you a woman of the people of paradise? I said, yes. He said, this black lady came to the Prophet ﷺ. Now, can you tell about someone, he is or she is from paradise? Can you tell? You cannot tell definitely. But he's telling him she is from paradise. Exactly, type of people, right? Like when you say the righteous are people of paradise or Muslims. But can you tell about one individual? No, but he said about one individual. Ibn Abbas said about one individual. He probably heard it from the Prophet ﷺ. So if the Prophet ﷺ told someone he is of paradise, what does that mean? What if someone, like if he is living, can you tell about someone who is living he is from paradise? Yes. Not now. Why? What if someone is doing good now and then he changed? He did bad. You cannot guarantee. So what's the correct stance? What about the companions? Can we say that every single one of them is in paradise? We specify. He is pleased with them. So we say in general, all of them are in paradise. But specifically, we mention only the ones that the Prophet ﷺ has specified. How many the Prophet ﷺ specified? 10, and there might be more. That's a good answer. So we'll see, because is she one of those 10? No. So how come Ibn Abbas say she is from paradise? This woman, anyway, came to the Messenger ﷺ and said, I get attacks of epilepsy, like seizure, and my body becomes uncovered. Please invoke Allah for me. The Prophet ﷺ said to her, if you wish, be patient, and you will have paradise. And if you wish, I will invoke Allah to cure you. She said, I will remain patient. And added, but I become uncovered. So please invoke Allah for me that I may not become uncovered. So he invoked Allah for her. So what do you think now? What do you think about this woman? She is from paradise. Why? The Prophet ﷺ has promised her. What was the price she paid for paradise? Yes. Having the seizures? Being patient. With what? With having the sickness. Exactly. That's the main reason why this hadith is in the book of patience. When you are sick, the first thing you should do is what? Be patient. Be patient. What else? What do we learn from this hadith? Quickly, we have many lessons from this hadith. Yes.
Even if she was patient, she still for the other things to be uncovered, he still invoked Allah for that.
The Prophet ﷺ invoked Allah for other things. What do you learn from this? Yes. Type of blessing. The dua of the Messenger ﷺ is a blessing. Because she saw the dua of the Messenger ﷺ and he prayed for her. And that helped her. And if he prayed for her to be cured also, so the dua of the Prophet ﷺ is a blessing. But about that issue, uncovering, if you are sick or you are unconscious, are you held accountable for things that you do? No. So why would she ask the Messenger ﷺ for something that she is not accountable for? Yes.
Other people may see her
So what will happen if other people saw her in that state and she is not responsible?
She's not responsible, but they're responsible. So why put yourself in that situation?
Exactly. Look at the chastity of this woman. Look at the modesty. That even she is not responsible, yet still she asked the Prophet ﷺ to be covered. And look at women nowadays. Forget about non-Muslims. Muslims, they uncover themselves on purpose and they are conscious. Look at this woman. That's the iman they had. What else do you learn from this hadith? If you are patient, can't you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for cure? Yeah. Yes.
If you're patient with the sickness that you have, that would be one of the ways you can enter paradise.
Exactly. If you are sick and you are patient, you could get into paradise, just like this woman. What else?
Can we say specifically that those Muslims who suffer with epilepsy,
Those Muslims who suffer
it's
from that
specific?
epilepsy or seizure, that they will enter paradise?
Can we say?
Well, here there is the Prophet ﷺ told her, but we cannot, because maybe there were other people who are having the same thing. Because not the sickness itself, the patience with that sickness. That's what. And the dua of the Messenger ﷺ and his glad tidings. Yes, what else?
That she could make dua to get rid of the epilepsy, but just having it is like just having it and staying patient with it. So like if you have the choice of getting rid of it,
If you have the choice of being treated,
like she could have been treated and
yeah.
that would have been fine for her as well, but she could have taken that choice.
Yeah, but she did not. Why? Because she wanted paradise. What about us nowadays? Can you take treatment? Can you? Now you know that you are sick, and if you do not take that medicine, you will remain sick. Can you say, I don't want it? What the Muslim should do when he is sick? You seek the treatment. What if someone said, I don't want, I want to be patient? And this will increase his sickness. Yes.
At that time, maybe they didn't have a treatment, so that's why she went through the process. Because if there was a treatment, she might have used it before she.
No, there was a treatment. There was some of them that were.
Exactly, that was the treatment. And that's another lesson actually. What was the treatment if she could have sought it? The dua. So we learn from this that dua is cure. That's a lesson from the hadith. Do not seek only the physical treatment like the medicine and the pills that you have. But again, the question,
But
can you voluntarily choose not to take medication? And you know that this will increase your... Yes.
Because it's causing harm in your body.
So it causes harm on your body, and you're not supposed to harm your body. So you say no.
And if there's a cure, Allah says there's a cure for everything. So if there's a cure,
The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah sent down cure for everything. So you should take it. What if someone said no? That's my question. Yes.
your body is an amana from Allah.
Your body is amana, so you agree with Amna.
Yes, so you have to seek that cure. Unless that cure would harm you, then you seek it.
Yes.
If your body is in good shape, how are you going to perform your duties, your obligations?
Okay, I agree with all what you're saying, but don't you think that all what you said contradicts this hadith?
No.
Because if you say you have to take treatment, she did not. She was able to.
It doesn't. I don't see it contradicting. I mean, if someone can promise me paradise now, I suffer some ailment, I'll take the paradise, yes. She was promised paradise, but Rasul said so.
So she's different. She was promised paradise. What makes you different? This is the sickness, and you are patient, and you ask Allah for paradise. Maybe you will get it. So again, the question is, do you have to take medication? You're saying yes, because based on the evidences. You say no? I don't know now. What's your opinion? You agree with them or not?
No. Didn't one of the Khalifa refuse medication? Refuse seeing the doctor? it Abu Bakr? He refused to see the doctor when he was sick.
Not Abu Bakr.
One of the hadith refused. Said that the doctor had already.
Well, in general, it is recommended to seek the medication. You seek treatment. You take medication. But if you choose not, then you are not blameworthy. Why? That's another lesson from the hadith. Who's the source for the sickness? Who causes the sickness? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the one who causes you to get sick. So if you say, I believe totally in the destiny, in the fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He decreed on me, and He is the one who caused me to get sick, He is the one who cures me, that's permissible. That is permissible. So you don't have to force people to take medication. Now some people, unfortunately, they try to force people. If they don't want, they are mature enough, they choose, don't force them. You see people pulling the adults, the old people. If young, yes, that's fine. Immature, they don't understand. But if they are old, adults, they understand. You don't have to force them. So these are the lessons from that hadith. Second hadith, Aisha radiallahu anha said, "Oh my head." Allah's Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "I wish that had happened while I was still living." Because this happened when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also was sick. That was the last days of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he got sick. "For then I would ask Allah's forgiveness for you and invoke Allah for you." Aisha said, "Wa thukliyah." This is a term of the loss. By Allah, I think you want me to die. Look what Aisha is saying. She's telling the Prophet ﷺ, my head is aching, I have headache. So the Prophet ﷺ told her, I wish if I'm living more, because he knew that he's dying. If I'm living more, I would invoke Allah for you. Aisha told him, no, you wish me to die, and then what will happen? I think you want me to die, and if this should happen, you would spend the last part of the day sleeping with one of your wives. That's the jealousy of Aisha radiallahu anha. That's what she's thinking of. The Prophet ﷺ said, nay, I should say, oh my head. I felt like, this is continuous, I felt like sending for Abu Bakr and his son and appoint him as my successor, lest some people claimed something or some other wished something. But then I said to myself, Allah would not allow it to be otherwise, and the Muslims would prevent it to be otherwise. That's the hadith. Now this hadith is about the last days of the Messenger ﷺ, when he wanted to write something, but then he didn't. Why? Because he was sick. And this issue, especially the Shia, talk a lot about it. Who was more worthy of the Khilafah? According to this hadith, who was more worthy of the Khilafah? Who deserved the Khilafah? Abu Bakr. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ wanted to call on him and to write for him. But what if someone said, this hadith is an evidence that Abu Bakr does not deserve the Khilafah? Because if he deserved it, the Prophet ﷺ would have written it for him. What do you say? Why didn't the Prophet ﷺ write? Because of the sickness. Not because he changed his mind. Now this is politics. What's the reason for mentioning this hadith in the book of patience? Look at the beginning of hadith. What does it say? When Aisha radiallahu anha said, oh my head, what did the Prophet ﷺ do? What did the Prophet ﷺ do when she said, oh my head? Yes. What does that tell you? That's the reason of the hadith here. Yes. That the sickness of the Prophet ﷺ was very severe. What else? Yeah, again, because he was unable even to make dua, he did not write. But again, what's the main reason? Yes. The dua of the Prophet ﷺ has barakah. What else? The main reason yet to come. If you are sick, make dua. That's the lesson here. If you are sick, make dua. Dua is cure. Because the Prophet ﷺ told Aisha, if I were to live, I would have invoked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. Again, as I said, do not rely only on the physical medication. Okay, we'll move quickly, and it's your job, inshallah, to continue the lessons from this hadith. Now, again, another chapter which is attached to the book of patience, the book of medicine. The narrator says here, we went out and Ghalib ibn Abjar was accompanying us. He fell ill on the way, and when we arrived at Medina, he was still sick. Ibn Abi Atiq came to visit him and said to us, treat him with black cumin. Take 5 or 7 seeds and crush them. You know the black seed? And drop the resulting mixture into both nostrils. For Aisha, radiallahu anha, has narrated to me that she heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, this black cumin is healing for all diseases except Assam. Aisha said, what is Assam? He said, death. That's interesting hadith. It tells you the value of the black cumin. It tells you that the Prophet ﷺ, did he use medication or not? He used medication, according to this hadith. He used medication. So yes, he used dua, but he used what also? Medication. So take the physical means. I'm not telling you do not, but also remember always that cure comes from Allah. What do you learn also? The method of using black cumin. What else? You can teach others. Aisha radiallahu anha taught Ibn Abi Atiq, the successor. So if you know that this will help, you tell it to others. What else? Aisha asked the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what's the meaning of Assam? So it is permissible to ask for clarification. She did not say, oh yeah, and she did not understand. It is recommended to ask if you don't understand. What else? Exactly, you visit someone when they are sick. What else? You know what's the meaning of Sam? Assam means death. And that's what the Jews used to say. Instead of saying As-salam, they used to say Assam. While Assam means death. What else? Is there a cure for death? No, that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. So do not waste your time. There is no cure for death. That's another lesson. All these are lessons from the hadith. Amna, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Oh, okay. You're writing the hadith?
No, I'm writing it.
Okay. Next hadith. Short hadith. The Prophet ﷺ was cupped. Do you know the sucking cups? Have you ever used them? I did not. I know many friends did it. I was intending to, but subhanallah, inshallah I will do it. The Prophet ﷺ was cupped, and he paid the wages to the one who had cupped him, and then took su'ud. What is the su'ud? Medicine sniffed by nose. Again, What do you learn from this hadith? Cupping is allowed. It is a method of treatment. Why? Again, because your body is cycled. Your blood is cycled in the body. And it's not getting out. By cupping, you are allowing only the spoiled blood to go out. And subhanAllah, they do it when they are trained. It's only small cuts, very, very thin cuts. They train first on papers. You scratch it, you don't penetrate. If you penetrate the paper, that means you don't know how to do the cup. You just scratch it, and you do it on the back or on the head. The Prophet ﷺ did it. And it is proven. Nowadays, there are people certified with this. There are many researches about cupping. I encourage you to go and read about cupping. It is an Islamic method of treatment. What do you learn from this hadith? Again, the permissibility of seeking treatment. That the Prophet ﷺ did it. You had another thing? Yeah, exactly. You pay someone. The doctors would like that. Yeah, yes. Taking medicine by nose, exactly. Why didn't the Prophet ﷺ take it by mouth? Sometimes you take it by mouth, sometimes you take by nose. Just like the nose drops. No, that's not a good answer. Because if you are fasting, you cannot take it by nose. Because it... Maybe, yeah. The next hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, there is no adwa. What is adwa? Disease communicated, or disease is conveyed from the sick to the healthy without Allah's permission. لا عدوى ولا صفر ولا حمى. A Bedouin stood up and said, then what about my camels? The Prophet ﷺ is telling there is no communication of disease without Allah's permission. The man stood up and said, what about my camels? They are like deer on the sand. Means they are very, very quick. But when a mangy camel comes and mixes with them, they all get infected with mangy. The Prophet ﷺ said, then who conveyed the mangy disease to the first one? Now, aren't there communicable diseases? Is there or there is not? Yes. There are, right? But the Prophet ﷺ is telling you there is no communicable diseases. Well, he is telling you there is no communicable disease without the permission of Allah. He is telling you that anything happens, but this happens to anything, right? Everything happens in this world. It is by permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does the hadith mean exactly? Do not blame anyone. And remember, again, who causes the sickness? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, you seek the treatment from whom? From Allah. Because again, look at the example the Prophet ﷺ gave. It was a very nice example. The Prophet ﷺ, the man told him, then what about my camels? Just like the apples. Bad apple with good apples. What will happen? All of them will become bad, spoiled. But what about the first apple? What spoiled it? That's what the Prophet ﷺ told the man. What happened to the first camel? Who caused it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remember always that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the cause of disease. But here is the thing. What about people who are infected with communicable diseases? Do you go and say, if anything will happen, it is by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you go and mix with them. Or you say, I will not go because they have disease. You go and take precautions. Why? There's no communicable disease without the permission of Allah. So why you take precautions? Yes? Yes, you take precautions, you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another evidence. In addition to tie the camel and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a story when Umar radiallahu anh was intending to go to a city with the army, and he was told there is a plague. So Umar wanted to go back. Abu Ubaidah radiallahu anh told him, are you intending to run away from the fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So what did Umar say? Did he say, yeah, you are right, let's go, and whatever will happen, it is from Allah? He said, we are turning away from the fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the fate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the destiny of Allah. And they quoted the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you hear of a plague in a city, do not go there. And if you are in a city where there is the plague, do not leave it. Stay. Why? Because if you are there already and you are infected, if you leave, maybe you will affect other people. And if you are outside, do not cause yourself to be destroyed. But always remember the source. That's the lesson here. Remember that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The last hadith that we have. The Prophet ﷺ used to treat some of his wives by passing his right hand over the place of ailment, and used to say, Allahumma Rabban Nas, Adhib al-Bas, Ishfi wa anta al-Shafi, La shifa illa shifa'uk, shifa'an la yughadiru saqama. O Allah, the Lord of the people, remove the trouble and heal the patient, for you are the healer. No healing is of any avail but yours, healing that will leave behind no ailment. I like to say it in Arabic always, even if you don't know, try to know it in Arabic, because the dua was in Arabic. That's the dua the Prophet ﷺ used to say, Allahumma Rabban Nas, Adhib al-Bas, Ishfi wa anta al-Shafi, La shifa illa shifa'uk, shifa'an la yughadiru saqama. What do we learn from this hadith? First, you can treat someone else, because the Prophet ﷺ used to do that to his wives. Second, you put your hand on the place of ailment. Third, it is recommended to say this dua. Fourth, the kindness of the Messenger ﷺ to his wives. He did not tell her, oh, you will recover quickly, or you're faking it, or whatever. He used to treat them. That's the kindness of the Messenger ﷺ. The blessing of the dua of the Messenger ﷺ. And the virtue of that dua itself. Allahumma Rabba Nas Adhib al-Bas. You learn that it is recommended to say this dua. So whenever you have sickness, you put your hand on the place where there is pain, and you say this dua. Actually, there is one more hadith, I'm sorry. Do you know, by the way, do you know this dua? You don't know it? Try to memorize it. It's only 2 lines. Allahumma Rabban Nas, Adhib al-Bas, Ishfi wa anta al-Shafi, La shifa illa shifa'uk, shifa'an la yughadiru saqama. 5 sentences. This is your homework. Memorize this dua. I mean, as Muslims, as students of knowledge, if you are sick, what do? You rush to the doctor, you cry, and you get the Panadol, Advil, whatever. Yeah, this is another dua. As-sallahu al-azim, Rabbal Arsh al-azim, and ashfiyak. But this is also another dua. Allahumma Rabban Nas, Adhib al-Bas, Ishfi wa anta al-Shafi, La shifa la shifa'uk, shifa'an la yughadiru saqama. Always say it when you are sick, or when someone else is sick. You learn from this that Islam is a way of life. It's not only a religion for some time. It's a way of life. Even in the time of sickness, you have methods of treatment. That's another sign of the greatness of Islam, that it's a perfect religion. Okay, this is the last hadith. Whenever Allah's Apostle went to bed, he used to recite Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah Al-Nas, and then blow on his palms and pass them over his face and those parts of his body that his hands could reach. And when he fell ill, he used to order me to do like that for him. So it is the same thing. You can treat other people. Because when the Prophet ﷺ was sick, he asked Aisha to do it. Do you do this when you go to bed? Do you go do this? Again, as a student of knowledge, as a Muslim, you should do it. This is protection. Again, Quran, you learn from this that Quran is protection. It's not only spiritual protection for your heart, but it is physical protection from diseases, from sickness. That's what the Prophet ﷺ used to do. And in another narration, he used to do this 3 times. You read, you blow, and do it. A brother did that on the first night of his marriage, and his wife thought he's crazy. She did not know about this sunnah. So you need to teach people about this sunnah. Can you do this to your children? Yes, you can, because the Prophet ﷺ asked Aisha to do it for him when he was ill. Again, also you learn that Islam is a way of life. You learn what to say when you are sick. It's not only in the masjid, but also everywhere. We'll stop here, inshallah. Is there any questions about these hadith? No? Okay, we'll stop here, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.